Welcome to the Business Growth Podcast. Today, I'm here with Malia, the co-founder from VOS Accounting and Tax Services. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Leonard, for having me.
So,
Pleasure to be in the show.
good to have you here as well. And so, tell us a little bit more. What do you do at VOS Accounting?
VOS
What is
Accounting.
yeah.
Yeah, so VOS is Latin for your. When I look into this, moved to the United States in 2011 from American Samoa. I'm originally from Tonga. Maloi lele talofa to all my Samoan Tongans in Aussie. Um, at, Still a Muddy Tonga fan, big time.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yes. So moved in 2011, immediately get into business mode without a degree, by the way. So undecidedly, but went into business first. And initially we called the business White and Associates. It's in the name. And lately we did a little rebranding with the primary focus on accounting, providing accounting to small to medium businesses, and
Hmm.
also tax.
Hmm.
Consulting business. And just late last year, I kind of changed it because a lot of people call here for legal advice because of White and Associates. And I'm like, no, we're actually doing accounting. So boss, I wanted to change it, but relatable to the clients instead of the clients becoming clients to you and customers and very transactional. It's a
Hmm.
partnership, really. That's why I
Yeah.
wanted to use boss.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. And then, so what led you to starting the business?
Uh, New journey, I guess. It was never in my wildest dream that I was going to be here in America. So I'm first generation here. Most of
Mhm.
us are in Europe. Australia is still very aware where the Pacific Islanders are at, New Zealand, but not America. And yet I found myself here. So
Yeah.
look into accounting and then decided after 2 or 3 years while also starting a family to go back to school.
Yeah.
And it has been quite a journey ever since, I have to
Yeah.
say. Yeah, so it's over 13 years now.
Hmm.
Yeah, so
Yeah. Okay. And why did you pick like the accounting profession specifically? Why not anything else?
anything. Yeah,
Yeah.
so my husband, who's American, was a roaming CFO around the world. I met him in American Samoa, and I myself, I come from a family of accountants too.
Okay.
So they're very strong in math, and I'm not saying I'm one, but so I was kind of drawn to it naturally, to
Yeah.
accounting. Yes.
Right. Okay. And then you said when we last spoke, one of the things you guys are doing now is going through a second round of AI implementation in the business because the first one didn't work as good because the person in charge of it left the business. So tell us a bit more, what does that kind of initiative involve?
Right. So that was learning. Uh, I'd like to think, I always tend to look back. I'm not sure if you remember Nelson Mandela used to say this famous quote is, I never lose. I either win or learn. Right.
Hmm.
So, and that's how I approach everything. I never lose. I always try. If I fail, which is not really, you're learning, right? It's a
Hmm.
learning curve for you. And that's how this came about or materialized, where at the end of the day, I sat down because of this issue with the first implementation.
Hmm.
It came out with three things. If your organization does not really have a stable processes in place, reliable data, because you got to have reliable data, and also a clear problem to solve. If you don't have any of those three, or make sure that they are aligned, you have all those three, and before moving into the implementation phase, it's most likely, highly likely to fail. And that's what
Hmm.
we didn't have. We didn't have a stable processes in place. There was no reliable data. And when you sit down and ask them is what is the number one issue they're looking to actually get away from? And that it
Hmm.
was a bunch of issues that, okay, so we cannot really dissect which one is the core issue. And like I said, I came up with three things out of it. It's becoming a framework right now.
Hmm.
and learning also that AI implementation, it isn't about the size of the company. Really, it's about how ready you are. And if you have those three
Hmm.
things identified and clearly stated, then yes, we can definitely move forward because at the end of the day, if the foundation is unstable, AI simply is going to accelerate the dysfunction, right? Because it is built to move you forward. But if you're lacking everything else, then yes, the dysfunction is going to be very visible at best.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. That's what I've seen as well. You need to have good systems and SOPs to then automate. If you don't know what the process is, you don't know what to automate essentially with AI.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. And then so what are some of the things that you guys are working on now with this new AI implementation?
Right. So in general, I guess the first approach is to make the client understand because this principle applies far beyond technology alone, right? You cannot scale what isn't structurally sound, right? You
Hmm.
cannot pick up something that is very fragmented and broken and try to scale it. You gotta have to put it back together, make sure that that the foundation is stable before you try to scale. So that is the number one thing you try to sit and talk to the client with because it's very business principle rather than technology alone. And at the same time, you cannot grow your headcounts. When the workflows aren't there, there's no existing workflow, how are you going to account for that? You cannot expand the revenue when your financials aren't reliable. Goes back to reliable data, right?
Yeah.
And part of it also is you cannot increase operational capacity when you're if the leadership that are not aligned. That's the number one
Mhm.
thing. If you have more than
Yeah.
one owner, you had one, two, three, they all, like all three, regardless of how many numbers of owners you have in a business, they all need to be in agreement and
Yeah.
alignment. Yeah,
Yeah.
because if anything, you're going through a growth phase, the growth exposes the cracks, right?
Hmm.
And that's not good business at all. It never hides them. So now you have tons. What you thought was hidden, now they're cracking open.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm finding out also during implementation phases to where, okay, because the problem or the issue was never fully stated or clearly stated, and you
Hmm.
allocated like 30% of your sales for the year to do this project, right? You're going to end up having to go looking for money again to add to the
Hmm.
budget because the cracks is starting to open and you're going to need more money allocated to
Right.
fixing it first.
Yeah. Okay. And then so did you guys have specific goals that you're looking to achieve or systems you're trying to make more efficient with this new AI project that you're working on?
So yes, let me take this back. Part of it is also sitting down with management, looking at what is the end goal for you. If the end goal is like in the next 3, 5 years to exit, then you may not really need a 100% attack on your AI implementation. Make it like a phase, start
Hmm.
phasing in up to when you're exiting. But it was also a case where you're going to have to face a lot of, huge decision before deciding. In the specific example that I'm looking at right now is you have 15 employees, one owner, wanting to scale. Okay, that is doable, but that also means she's self-funding everything, taking on more debt for this project to complete. And I said, okay, if you're going to do that, you're going to make less money, taking on more debt, more stress. Now, flip that, look at it. If you're going to exit, you're already profitable without the project in sight. You know, put aside the project and let's look at it. You're already profitable and look at the exit in the next 3, 5 years. Reduce the headcount while slowly implementing AI with 5 people and bring in an outside CEO to run it. The
Right.
companies to remain profitable, no extra debt, and there's no stress. That's basically what we end up doing. So it's now a phase by phase implementation. right? What's in the backlog or what is causing the back office help to kind of to request
Hmm.
in a sense of workload. Um, so we're looking into that and starting from that place where, okay, the 5 employees that are left right now, they're all decision makers. And then where can the admin task and work is where the AI comes in,
Hmm.
right? There's a lot we kind of looked into, and part of it is studying the systems. Sometimes we go in and they already have a package with Microsoft uh, that actually includes AI, but they're not aware. So, and in business too, I think you noticed this, it is over 60% of the tools that companies have, they're not aware that they have it. So it's unusable tools. It um, and that's what we're looking into. Going into
Right.
it, you study what the tools are already available to them. That way, it reduces the cost assigned to the project. And if
Hmm.
that is something that we can work with it, and if it's not, then we are definitely looking at a new system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, you say that 60% is not fully used.
Yes. Yes.
And then so this seems more like it's like the lens through you're helping your clients implement AI, but are you also implementing AI in your business? That was kind of what I understood from what you said last time.
Yes, but very slowly in a much
Mhm.
slower scale for me. And I
Okay.
say this because of the sensitivity of the information that we're handling here. You know,
Uh-huh.
you have clients coming in and they're talking about it's really their financial,
Yeah.
everything confidential.
Hmm.
We have it in our system. So I gotta have people that I trust.
Yeah.
Um, Years ago, we were doing this whole outsourcing thing. And then it came out earlier this year with the study is it's over what 4,000 is the security issue now. Number one issue that is becoming concerning for accounting firms is actually the data security. So we
Hmm.
sit down, evaluate them. Okay, we're bringing it in-house, right? It's not that we were ever or something known to us. There was nothing known to us that we were compromised during the years where we were outsourcing.
Yeah.
But yeah, early this year when that data in the study came out, I'm like, okay, we got to do this here. Um,
Hmm.
it's a lot of confidential data that we're dealing with.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's part of the process where we sit to onboard a new client. We ask them, what is the preference? You know, what is the communication style? Because we're dealing with very sensitive information. And is this something that you just like to do it in person? Which some choose to. You know, I know it's largely virtual today with the meetings and stuff, but it's not the case with half of our clients. They prefer to come in here, talk with the papers, and that's okay too.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. And then so following along with that, so let's say you could get a magic AI robot into your business to do whatever task you wanted to do.
Mhm.
What would you get it to do and why?
So I right now I we have the chat GPT, right? There are minute tasks, admin tasks that I kind
Yeah.
of delegate, but I also show because I would love to think that the people I have here are also just as productive, but also responsible at the same time using the AI. So we
Yeah.
do have an enterprise AI account, ChatGPT. Uh, and it's part of sitting down because it's also compliance with the Internal Revenue Service here in the United States to where
Yeah.
we are required to be responsible with the client's data,
Hmm.
right? So it's part of the onboarding here for me, sit down and use it. Yes, you can use it, but use it responsibly.
Hmm.
And we're using agent um, a lot. There I think, and you can probably picture this where the agent is you are task, you are an accountant, right? Here's the task, and I'm connecting it to if probably Outlook, if that's the email of choice that we have connected there. And then if there's a mm, an actionable item that is coming through, learn to pick up that and create back to Microsoft Loop
Hmm.
a to do, right? And remind the owner you have this. So it's working really well right now, but we're also small in that we can see the impact immediately, but also at the same time work faster to correct if there needs to be any
Yeah.
correction. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And yeah, definitely like the sensitivity of client data is, yeah, something a lot of people should be aware about. And
Yeah.
then so what would the task be though that you would, if you had a magic AI robot that could do anything, what task in your business would you get it to do if you could just like plug it into the wall and then it does that thing for you?
So I'd like to probably taking calls. It may not
Hmm.
be just talking directly, but taking that data, whatever the data from the calls, like the transcripts, if identify, I dissect the message. If it's to have a call back with a number, that is what I'd like to be able to get. It's almost like a personal assistant,
Yeah.
which is also something that again we're looking at some this year, but it's also a case of they're not even in the United States. Again, we cannot have we have to have people that we trust and see sometimes here, you know, to be able to handle sensitive stuff, communication from clients and sometimes the tax agencies.
Right.
Yeah. But it'd be nice to have something like that. I guess what I'm saying is, yeah, a personal assistant. They can do that. Because right now I
Yeah.
feel like I'm disorganized in some sense. When
Hmm.
I have projects flying at me and then I'm sitting down like, okay, where's my loop at? Because I need for it to summarize the task, per project. I do use the workspace a lot. It does help me.
Yeah.
And I have the app with me, but I still had to do something. Because that is,
Okay.
it's like I hear a lot of people concerned about losing their job to AI. AI is really enhancement because
Hmm.
I still have to do something for AI to be able to work.
Yeah.
Simply prompting, that is
Yeah.
you doing something, right?
Yeah.
So,
Oh
but yeah,
yeah.
looking forward to the robot day when they're ready. And I was talking in a conference. The discussion becomes to like, okay, let's say to each person there's a robot, right? They're taking over. Now, does the
Mhm.
government tax you employment tax, or does the government tax the robot, right? Okay,
Mhm.
well, I know I'm the owner, I'm responsible for this AI robot, but still, who is paying? Am I paying for employment tax or
Yeah.
so the discussion is already surrounding that. What does that compliance look like in the near future? Or maybe in the
Right.
next year. Who knows?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah,
Okay.
that would be interesting if you're paying yeah, tax for a robot or something,
Yes, yes.
depending on how that happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I know we're starting to run out of time here. So let's finish on what's been one of the like most valuable lessons that you've learned in business.
Okay. One of the things I learned is so in here in America, and I didn't know this until moving here, that
Yeah.
to be qualified as a small business, you have to have 500 or less employees, right? But with
Hmm.
the companies that I'm dealing with is largely less than like 50 and 100 or 100 and less. It's
Yeah.
never beyond that. But regardless of size, to go back to where I started, it's about readiness. And talking about readiness, it's either AI implementation to move you to your next phase, which is growth, right? There was a study that was released about 3 years ago where employers get stuck when they make it to 25 headcounts.
Hmm.
Majority fall back. But then I sit back and I actually find that to be very interesting. And I, spend time studying it to where why do you keep falling back and why is the large number actually fall back instead of growing, continuing to grow? And again, it's infrastructure, right? You're not
Hmm.
ready if the infrastructure is actual or the foundation is unstable. Um, to go back to if you don't have a stable processes like the SOPs that you brought up, reliable data,
Mhm.
and if you don't know what problem you have to that you need to have solved, then yes, most likely you're going to regress back. And that's where I'm at. It's kind of I am looking at that where that's where I think I can help the most right now. Identify that gap and see if we can help push. So
Yeah.
what can be a framework that can be implemented in place and make sure they do not regress, but
Hmm.
continue to grow?
Yeah. Okay, nice. Yeah, that's really interesting. And then so it's been great having you on the show. Where can people go to find a little bit more about you and what you guys do?
Okay, our website is VOS-taxac, taxacc.com. And you can also find me on LinkedIn. Um, I'm very active on LinkedIn.
Mhm.
And, or you can just Google me. Um, yes, you can find me on Google first page when you put in Malia White.
Yeah.
So, and if I can add this to all Pacific people here, I find myself very lonely in this area. I'm in Atlanta, Georgia, by the way. So
Mhm.
if anybody happens to be in the area, look me up, please. I'd like to um, make sure that people, because I see a lot of other cultures here, but none that I can tell right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Well, I'll put a link to all of that in the show notes, and if you guys want to hit her up, feel free to. It's been great having you on the show. You guys have been listening to the Business Growth Podcast. Until next time, keep growing.